free talk learners. We last finished question 3. Now we want to look at question 4, exam type questions. Those questions that usually give you a bit of stress. Don't worry, we'll discuss and we'll do them together. So looking at the question that we have been given here, it says the Mogale City Municipality intends building RDP houses in Kagiso for qualifying members of the community. A contractor submitted 3D. Again, remember our terminology is 3D means three-dimensional. A 3D view alongside for appropriate approval by the municipal town planners. Study it carefully and use it to answer the questions that follow. So if we look at the 3D image that we have been given, what values or what items capture your attention here? Good. The first one, you can see they have given us measurement. What's our first measurement? 5.2. What is the 5.2 for? It is our width, DTH width. And then we have 9.5. What's our 9.5? Is the length of the image on the plan, not in real life. So let's look at the kind of questions that they want to ask. We have 4.3. The contractor proposed that due to the climatic conditions in South Africa, the bedroom should face northerly direction. Explain why would the contractor suggest that the bedroom should face in another direction? So here, look at the compass that you have been given here. If you look closely, you can see the north is not the north as we see on the screen. So what do you do when you find such questions? The first thing to do, please turn the paper up until the compass faces up the north for you, so that you are able to answer the questions correctly. So one of the reasons why the examiner wants to ask such a question is that, remember, the climatic conditions of South Africa. We have your winter, we have the autumn, we have your spring, we have your summer. You do not want rooms which are going to make you use a lot of electricity. You have to try and manage it well. So one of the reasons that you can give for such a question is to try and utilize the natural sunlight. So you can do that. You can write down to say to utilize the natural sunlight, or try to give your own simple explanation. But the key here is that never ever leave questions unanswered. Write what you think, because some of them demands you to reason. To reason means be able to apply your own mind, so that we can give you marks for that. Let's look at question 4.4. The municipality decided to allocate a land area of 100 square meters for each RDP house to be built on. If the scale of the plan above is 1:128, determine the percentage of the land that will be used to build the actual house. Now I want you to attempt it. This needs a lot of calculations, so I'm giving you 5 minutes. Then we'll come back and answer the questions together. Welcome back, learners. So for question 4.4, this is how you are supposed to answer. For each of the values on the diagram, you have to use the scale to find the actual dimensions, meaning the length, use the scale to find the real measurement. The width, you do the same. So let us start. So we have been given 9.5 centimeters. Remember, in our previous questions, I explained to you what you must do. Draw your diagram. You have your AD, divide here, you have your MD, then you have your SF. So what have been given here? We have been given 128. What is the name of the 128? It is our SF, our scale factor. And then MD are the values on the diagram. The first MD is 9.5 centimeters. The next MD is 5.2 centimeters. So let's go use our scale to work out the actual length and the actual width so that we can be able to see how much of the 100 meters squared will be used to build the building. So you take the first one, which is 9.5 centimeters. You multiply by 128. And then somebody will be asking, say, why are we multiplying? Remember, we have been given MD. MD is your 9.5 and your SF. You get the SF from the scale. So we have your MD and you have got your SF. When you have MD and SF, look at how they relate to each other here. MD and SF, what do? Good. We multiply them. So that's why I am multiplying the MD by my SF. So immediately, once you have these values, you go and you press them. We have your MD, which is 9.5 centimeters. Remember, you don't press the centimeters, you only press the 9.5. You multiply that by your scale factor. What's our scale factor again? Good. 128. Then you press your equal sign. So now that you have 9.5 multiplied by 128, what did your calculator give you? Good. 1,216. But remember, which unit are we measuring here? Is centimeters. So we need to convert. This is where your knowledge of your kilometers, meters, centimeters, and millimeters comes in handy. Again, one of my advice is that you have to write the kilometers, meters, centimeters, millimeters on the question paper so that you don't forget when it is time for converting. So we have 1,216 centimeters. We need to convert it to meters because we are looking for real, the actual. And why are we converting to meters? Can you see in the question, the examiner's value of the 100 is also in meters squared. So we need that. Now, what we have to do is divide the 1,216 by 100, and that will give us 12.16 meters. I hope you got that one correct. So now it's your turn. Use the same approach that I have done here and get me the AD for 5.2 centimeters on the die. Good. How did you approach that? You take your 5.2 centimeters, you multiply that by 128. So what will you get? Press on your calculator. 5.2 centimeters times 128. And that will give you 665.6. 665.6. This is still in centimeters. So divide everything by 100 and that will give you 6.65 meters. So if you check carefully, now we have the width, the 5.2 in real life is 6.65 meters. And the 9.5 in real life, it is what? 12.16 meters. So what do we do then? Now we have to find in meters squared. Remember, to find it in squared, it means you would have multiplied two values. So in our case here, we need to multiply the length and the width. So what do we need to do now? We are going to take our 12.16 meters and 6.65. So now you come back and say 12.16 meters times 6.65 meters. So we multiply the two together, 12.16 multiplied by 6.56. What are we going to get here? So our answer is 79.7696. Roughly, that should give us about 80 meters squared. So go back to the question. Now, the examiner said, determine the percentage of the land that will be used to build the actual house. So what is the size of the actual house? 80 meters squared. So percentage means we are going to say 80 meters squared, divide that by the 100 which was given, meaning 80 meters squared out of 100 meters squared. What would that give you? So you have 80 divided by 100. That will give you 0.8. Remember, the examiner wants percentage, so you times everything by 100. And that will give you, that will be 80%. If you did not convert to 80 meters squared, no problem. Take your 7.7696, 79.7696, divide everything by 100 meters squared times everything by 100. And that will still give you, let's work together, 79.7696 divide by 100, multiply everything by 100. That will give us 79.796. Like we said, 79.796. Then you can round everything to 80%. I hope this has made a lot of sense to you. Would you want to try it again? No problem. Go over. Remember, practice makes perfect. So whenever you try and it doesn't make sense, you don't have to worry about that. You have to keep on trying and then ask a lot of questions. Because as you ask the questions, that is how the examiner will be able to understand how you're putting things together. Even your teachers also, they will be able to help you a lot. So let's look at the next question. It says, given that the height of the window in the eastern wall measures 1.1 centimeter on the plan. 1.1 centimeter highlighted. After that, the examiner says you are supposed to find the actual height, and your answer should be in meters. I want you to spend time and answer this question. I'm giving you 4 minutes. Work on it, then we come back and discuss the answer together. Welcome back. So again, remember, you have to draw your diagram and divide it. What should be at the top is our AD. At the left here is our MD. And then on the right is our SF. So if you actually want, you can actually write them down. You have your AD, MD, and then you have SF. There are 3 values that we need to find here. So, do we know the AD? Look at the question, it says actual. So AD, it means we don't know. Do we know our MD? Yes, here is our MD. It's what? 1.1 centimeters. SF, you know it. If you go back, you will find the SF. Here is your SF. What's our SF again? 128. So we have our 128. So if you know the MD and you know the SF, how do we put all together? You know the MD, you know the SF. We multiply. Thank you. We multiply the MD and the SF. So what should we multiply here? 1.1 centimeters times 128. You go and take your calculator and you press 1.1 multiplied by 128, and that will give you 140,8. Remember, it is still in centimeters. But what did the examiner want? The examiner want the answer in meters. So what should we do then? Good, we have to convert. But remember, we don't want to just convert from your head. So write down your kilometers, meters, centimeters, millimeters. What is the value between kilometers and meters? Good, 1,000. Meters and centimeters, 100. Centimeters and millimeters, 10. So now we have our answer, which is in centimeters. But the examiner wants the final answer to be in meters. What do we do then? Good. We have to convert it to meters. And how do we convert a value which is in centimeters to meters? See, we are going backwards. We are taking something that is small to make it big. So what do? We divide. We are going to divide the answer of the centimeters by what value? To move from centimeters to meters? You got it correct. We divide it by 100. So you take your 140,8 centimeters divided by 100. What will that get you? 140.8 divided by 100. What did you get? Good, you got 1,408. Then you put your unit, meters. That immediately gets you 4 marks. For such a question, you may be able to get about 4 marks or 5 marks. Do not look at the question to be very difficult. It is not. What you need to do is that once you find such questions, you immediately break it down. Look at the values that you have been given. It will help you a lot. So again, never look at it to be very, very difficult. So on your side, what is the 1.1 centimeters? Good. That's our map or measured distance. What did I say you need to draw? Good. Draw your triangle. This side will be actual distance. On your left is our map or your measured distance. And then on your right side is your scale factor. Then if you want to make it more easier for yourself, write the values down. AD, MD, SF. You put equal sign in front of them. Do you know your AD? You don't know because the examiner says find the actual. So AD we don't know. You put a question mark there. Do you know your MD, the map or the measured distance? Can you see the clue? The clue says measured. So already there are answers in the question. All you have to do is to come down and try to put the values in this formula, and I promise you, you are going to do very well. You will be surprised how many marks you get come the end of the year. So the 1.1 is your MD. You put 1.1 centimeters. Then your SF. Where do you get your SF from? You get it from the scale factor. Look, here is your SF. Not 1:128, but only the 128. Why? Because it is the value which is going to tell us how big the actual will become. So let's get back. Our SF is 128. It does not have any unit. It will take on the unit that is on the MD. So what should we do here? We have MD, we have SF. So what should we do when you have MD and SF? What does the straight line mean? Good, it says multiply them. So we take our 1.1 centimeters, but remember, you don't press the centimeters. It is not supposed to be pressed. You only press the numbers. So we have 1.1 centimeters, but you're only going to press 1.1. You times that by 128. And then what are you going to get? 1.1 times 128. That should give you 140.8. What is the unit? You write the same unit here. You write centimeters. But you are not done. Remember, you have to go back to the question. Look at what the examiner wants. It says we want our answer to be in meters. So are you going to convert from your head and lose all the marks? Definitely not. Write your conversion unit or conversion factors here. It says kilometers, meters, centimeters, and millimeters. What are the values between them? We have 10, 100, and then 1,000. So this unit says it's in centimeters. We have to take it to meters. What are we going to do? Good. We are going to divide it. So you have your 140.8 divided by 100. And then what should be your answer? 1.408 meters. I hope this helps a lot. Now, there are some few tricks that you can actually do. You don't have to stress a lot with your Casio calculator. It can help you a lot. For example, if the examiner wanted this value as a whole number, then you go onto your calculator and you press Shift, you press Mode, and then you press the number 6 and the number 1. That is if you want one decimal place. So let's try that. You press Shift, Mode, 6, 1. What do you get? Shift, Mode, 6, 1. Good. That should give you 1.4. So you see, you don't have to stress and try to convert from your head and then you get them wrong. No, you have to use your calculator and get them correct. I want you to help me here. What are you going to get if you press Shift Mode 6.2? Let's go. Shift Mode 6.2. Good. What are you going to get? Good. Keep trying it and you're going to get the answer correct. If you don't understand, let's go. We have 1.408. But we want the answer to be 2 decimal places. What are we going to get? You're going to get, if you press Shift Mode 6.1, it's going to give you 1.4. But if you want two decimal places, you press the 2, and that should give you 1.41. So you see the conversions, you can actually do it using the calculator. Now, let's get back to the next question here. We have another interesting question. It says the contractor was awarded the tender to build the houses. Welcome, my learners. So let's look at our next question here. The contractor was awarded the tender to build the house. He ordered building materials from a supplier based in Pretoria. The distance from Pretoria to Kagiso via means passing through Krugersdorp is 86 kilometers. Highlighted because you're going to need it. If the average speed is 60 kilometers per hour, meaning the driver is driving at 60 kilometers per hour, use the formula below to calculate the time it will take to deliver a truckload of cement at Kagiso. Give your answer in hours and minutes. I'm quite sure during the course of the year you have made such questions before. It's not difficult. This is what you're supposed to do. The distance is 86, you write it. Divide, the speed is what? 60. So you go to your calculator, you press 86, divide by 60. What are you going to get? You're going to get 1.43 hours. But remember, the examiner wants the time in hours and minutes. It does not mean you say 1 hour 43 minutes. No, that is not how it goes. You go back to your calculator while your 1.43 hours is still on the calculator. Then there is a small button on your calculator which looks like this on your Casio. I want you to see if you can find it. It's like a dot with apostrophes. It's next to your left. If you can find this small thing, small button, it will help you a lot. All what you need to do is to press that button. And if you have 1.43 hours on the calculator and then you press this button, you will see that it is 1, then you have 26, then you have 0. Now, what does that mean? It means this is 1 hour, 26 minutes, 0 seconds. But what does the examiner want? They only want the time in hours and minutes. So let's go over one more time so that you understand better. What you do, you press your 86, you press divide by, you press your 60, you press equal sign, and then you press your SD button. Once you press the SD button, what will you see on the calculator? You will see 1.43. They want it in hours and minutes. Press that small button which is having this kind of symbols, 0 with like apostrophes. Press that button and you get your answer to become 1 hour, 26 minutes. And then you're going to get a lot of marks for being able to write your answer in hours and minutes. So thank you very much for being with me. Now I'm giving you a little bit of homework. I need you to try it so that you come back and give it to your teacher. And I'm very much confident that you'll do very well. Remember again, always measure the bar given in order to convert the bar scale to become a number scale. Write down the conversion table on your question paper. Always convert the given scale to a unit format and draw the conversion diagram so that it does not stress you a lot. Here's your AD, MD, and SM. Thank you very much for being with me. We shall meet again next time.